So we've looked at the for next, which is a counting loop, a repetition by counting. This is a different repetition. This is a do while, and there are two types of these. There's do while and do until. They're very similar. It's not easy to identify times when you should use one above the other, and it often comes down to personal preference and your choice of commands. I'm using one of the example programs here. Notice how, first of all, I'm dimensioning now not an integer but a string. So I'm dimensioning an array, a variable of data type string. This line here, I haven't used these before, but actually we really should have done this all the way through. I'm setting up my base value for str_word. Very old times of computing, when you used to set up a variable, what it would do was it would set up the variable in memory, and it would simply point to a location of memory, and there could be anything in that location. Now, generally with programming languages nowadays, they tidy up memory. They do something called garbage collection, so they clear out the junk that's in the memory and everything else. So you shouldn't end up with something, but very old times with computers, you could end up with something very strange entering in your data. So this line here simply says store assigned to str_word nothing. The speech marks are the marks for string, and there's nothing in the string, so it's empty. Make str_word empty. And it's good. We could have done that with our integers. For example, int number 1 equals 0. Just define the value that we first want. So we've set that because I didn't want it to fall over at this stage. Do while str_word is, and then we've got less than and greater than ducky. Notice again it's a string. This often throws people, but actually it's the opposite to equals. Do while str_word is not equal to. There are symbols for not equal to, not in VB, but there are for other programming languages. But this works just as well. It basically means while str_word is anything other than ducky, anything less than ducky, anything greater than. Now, that seems a bit weird. How can anything be less than ducky or greater than ducky? But basically, it's just matching. All your computer is doing is matching whatever string it's given with that string. This string here, ducky. So it's just saying if it's not the same as, then don't stop. So while str_word is not ducky, simply go through this list of code. Now here, rather than one line, I've got two. I've got a write line, enter the word ducky, giving the person an instruction. Str_word takes it from the read line. So if I type something in, it goes to loop, does the test. If it's anything other than ducky, it goes around the loop again. Unlike a count, this could go on forever. A count, incorrectly used, can go on forever, but the count, a for next loop, generally has a finite number of loops. This one has no defined loop. It can keep going around until it's finished. Let's just see it in operation. There we are. Enter the word ducky. Now let's say I go, oh no, I'm not going to bother, just press enter. Oh, okay, well, I don't want to put the word ducky, so I'm going to put the word swan in. Okay, being a bit of a pain in the neck, I'm going to put hen. Right, and maybe it really wants rhino. Oops, if I could type rhino, it would be useful. I don't know what I'm worried about the spelling. No. Okay, let's enter the word ducky. Ah, I entered the word ducky, but it didn't fail, it didn't stop. And that's actually because I didn't enter the same word ducky. Though we as human beings can see that this is the same word as this word, that's a lowercase d and that's an uppercase D, and it does matter. Programming languages, strings are case sensitive. As far as a computer is concerned, a capital D is as completely different to lowercase d as a letter K is from the letter D. So let's now enter the actual one it's looking for. There's the word. If I've done that, the program ends. Notice I remove my read line at the end, so all it's going to do is go round and round until I've entered the word ducky. As soon as I have, it gets to the loop and goes end sub. End subroutine, drops out. That's a do while. Really useful, particularly when you don't know how many times you want to repeat, or you want to force someone to do something until a condition has been met. There you go.